And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So, however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, folks, it's football week, baby. Football kickoff week. Today is Monday and this Thursday, folks. It's not next Thursday. It's not 2 Thursdays from now. It's not next month. It's this gosh dang Thursday, folks. First regular season game of the NFL season kicks off this Thursday, and then this Sunday, folks. Not next Sunday, not 2 weeks from now, not next month. This Sunday, folks, the entire NFL plays one day, all on Sunday. It's gonna be great. We got the ones. Y'all remember the ones, right? The ones are so good to get you ready for the fours. Y'all remember the fours to get us ready for that prime time Sunday night football game at 8 o'clock, folks. So, woo, we finally made it, folks. Kick off week. Jeez, and we still got a ton to do, folks. Damn. That offseason went quick, folks. It seemed like it was dragging on, but in the grand scheme of things, we're here. That shit went quick. So, for the remainder of the week, we got to wrap up our win totals, folks. We've only gotten through 7 teams so far, 7 lonely teams, and we got to crack them all out before Thursday so we can be officially official with the Cowboys and the Bucks, since they tip off a little bit early. So we got to get all those win totals done by Thursday, and we need to get all of our final predictions. What do we think is going to happen this season? We already kind of know our Super Bowl champions, the Colts, but are we still in with that? Because we did that in the real early stages of the offseason. So we're going to get everything out in the open, written down on what we think is going to happen this season so we can come back and check maybe mid-season. Maybe we'll wait to the end of the season, check back at it, see if we were right, which we probably are right on everything we said. But, it's good to have, it written down for the facts, for the record. So, we got a ton of stuff to do this week. We still have to guess and react to the week 1 lines, folks. So we've got a couple of days to squeeze it all in. Hopefully we can do it. So let's stop wasting time and start with the stories of the day, folks. Here we go. First one up. Well, the biggest story heading into week 1, which is not the greatest thing. We still don't want to be talking about this, but this is the case. COVID in the league. Now, it's not too bad so far, but there are, some cases that are going to be holding players out. And we can start here. We talked about this yesterday on the show. Cowboys starting guard Zach Martin has tested positive for COVID-19, and he will not play in the season opener. Truly unfortunate here, especially for this Cowboys team that's going against such a great defensive team in that Bucks, and they are on the road. So nothing is going great for this Cowboys team so far, especially when there's so much pressure on this team. There's pressure on Mike McCarthy to win. They were the Hard Knocks. They were the talk of the town the entire offseason just because they were on Hard Knocks. And then we have Dak coming back, and that's this gold standard of what this Cowboys team should be. America's team, the highest. It's like the richest team in the NFL. Just so much pressure, and for this to be the case for the first game, and now we already know all the narratives that are going to be kind of spewing out on Friday. We told y'all the Cowboys weren't good, and the offensive line can't hold up, and maybe Dak gets hit, so that's going to come into question. So this is not a great start for the Cowboys. Hopefully they can still be competitive in Thursday night's game, so it's not everybody writing off the Cowboys because of the first week of the season and because it was COVID. So we'll see how this happens and how this plays out on Thursday. But let's get into this. We're going to talk about another COVID case in a second, but Ezekiel Elliott on the Cowboys being without all-pro right guard Zach Martin, he says that, quote, Zach is the best player on our offense, and most runs come back behind him. So that's high praise right there. We know how loaded this Cowboys offense is. First of all, there's Dak on this team, and Ezekiel Elliott's calling Zach Martin the best player offensively. That's a little disrespectful to, Dak Prescott. And then we got CeeDee Lamb on the team. And then we've got, Amari Cooper. So, Ezekiel Elliott giving this man such high praise. This is definitely going to be a huge factor with him not being able to go this week. So once again, the Cowboys are once again behind the 8 ball this week. They were behind the 8 ball by facing the defending Super Bowl champions. They were already behind the 8 ball by having to play on the road. They were already behind the 8 ball by kind of playing the first game of the season, Thursday Night Football. And now they are once again behind the 8 ball by not having their starting right guard, Zach Martin. And now Ezekiel Elliott. We've kind of been expecting big things out of him from this season, kind of revitalizing his career, getting down back to prime Zeke Elliott. But like Zeke just said right here, hey, most of our runs come on the right side behind Zach Martin. So now we have to fill in somebody else that's not Zach Martin, and maybe the running game isn't going to be that great come Thursday. So now once again, another narrative potentially come Friday is, oh, Zeke is still not good. So this could be real detrimental to the Cowboys' entire season if they are not competitive. If they are competitive, they lose by 3. They even lose by 7. If it's like a 1-possession game at the end of the game, that's still kind of a decent win by the Cowboys. Obviously, they want to win the game. We understand that. But to stay out of the media, stay out of the narrative, and these guys, they play Thursday. Nobody else plays Friday or Saturday, so it's going to be, a field day truly for that Friday, since they were, the only thing on TV Thursday. That's going to be the talk of the town by everybody the entire day, and it may carry through Saturday as well. And then come Monday, maybe everybody forgets about it because, everybody just played on Sunday. So this could be real not good. Hopefully Mike McCarthy has these guys ready. Hopefully Joe Philbin has his guys ready on the offensive line. He's got the depth. We have been seeing Joe Philbin do some, good things. We've kind of liked what we've been seeing from Joe Philbin in Hard Knocks. It's not much. It was like maybe 1 or 2 segments throughout the couple episodes, but we loved what we were kind of seeing about him and how he kind of coaches up that offensive line. And we'll see if we can get who was it? Isaac Alakon, that kind of foreign player that was featured on Hard Knocks. Maybe he gets into the game. We'll see. So big questions here for the Cowboys, and hopefully they can kind of be good in this game. Besides all of these COVID kind of outs for the Cowboys, but we'll see how they rock. Big out here with their starting guard Zach Martin testing positive for COVID-19 and having to sit for Thursday night's game. Truly unfortunate, but we kind of went through this last season. Was it kind of every week? I don't think it was like every week, but, some weeks, I would say maybe 50% of the weeks last season, at least one player was kind of out with COVID. Truly unfortunate. We kind of saw, the Steelers? They had to kind of rearrange their schedule heavy. I think at one point they played like 3 games in like a 10-day stretch or something like that, just because of the COVID protocols and all that, having to reschedule games and everything. The Steelers kind of made the most of it. I think Lamar Jackson missed a week or maybe 2 because of COVID protocols. So, we're kind of picking up exactly where we left off last season. Truly unfortunate. But that's not all. We have another COVID positive case here in the NFL, and it comes with the Dolphins starting left tackle Austin Jackson. What's up with all these linemen getting COVID? What are all these linemen doing? Did the linemen go out and start lineman university that we didn't know about? They had all the great offensive linemen for a summit to get to know each other and to learn from each other? Is that why they're all getting COVID? What the heck is going on? So the Dolphins have placed starting left tackle Austin Jackson on the COVID-19 list along with tight end Adam Shaheen. Now, the good thing about, Adam Shaheen here is that he's not the starting tight end for the Dolphins, so it's not good, but it's definitely could have been way worse. It's not a starting position. Unfortunately, the left tackle Austin Jackson is starting. Same thing with, the Cowboys. Zach Martin is starting, so that's truly unfortunate. So we've got about 3 players here on the COVID-19 list heading into week 1, and we still have this entire week. It's just only Monday. How unfortunate. So, and there's also kind of, stories coming out today that teams are worried about today's COVID testing because of the kind of kickoff of the college football on Saturday. A lot of NFL players went to their former alma mater to kind of hype it all up. We just saw Trevor Lawrence at the Clemson game this Saturday. I don't think Tua was at the Alabama game. Yeah, I'm almost certain he wasn't because Alabama was playing Miami. So, he's kind of, hey, I'm on the Dolphins, but I went to Alabama. I can't really root for anybody. But, there were some NFL rookies that were visiting their old colleges to get prepared for the game because it's a big game. I mean, did you watch college football over the weekend, folks? It was absolutely fantastic. And that's why I'm so pumped for the start of the NFL season. Full crowds, full stands, packed houses. And that's what made the college game so great on Saturday. Seeing every single seat packed to the gills in that college system. And, that's kind of the one thing the college system has over the NFL is kind of the crowds and the fan base. I mean, those college crowds, there's nothing that really compares to that. Yeah, a packed kind of NFL stadium is great, but a packed college stadium, sheesh, folks, it's a different atmosphere, and it plays. You can read it. You can feel it through the television, folks, when you watch it. So there are some teams worried about the COVID testing today, so we could potentially, let me knock on wood big time on this, we could potentially, and I don't want this, and I don't even really want to say this, but I'm knocking on wood here, folks, potentially see a decent amount of COVID positive cases throughout the next couple of days, which would just be detrimental to really every single team. I mean, we're talking about starting quarterbacks, folks. Trevor Lawrence, potential, knock on wood. But so hopefully we don't get that. But today is also still Monday, so we'll see what else happens. Last season it wasn't really anything big. There was maybe like one team or 2 teams, or like we said, maybe 1 big player, 2 big players at max, maybe every single week. So hopefully we don't get kind of anything bigger than what we saw last season. I think last season was okay in the grand scheme of things, honestly. I don't think it hindered anything too much. Yeah, it sucked for maybe 1 or 2 weeks for your team. And, in the NFL, it's unfortunate because 1 or 2 games, 1 or 2 weeks can really just make or break your entire season. So at that standpoint, I understand it, but I think for totality wise, looking back on last season, it wasn't too bad. So hopefully everything continues to be good this season and we don't get any big kind of COVID outbreak weeks that are just hindering literally every single team. We truly do not want to see anything like that. So we will knock on wood one more time. So, Dolphins starting left tackle Austin Jackson and tight end Adam Shaheen are on the COVID-19 list. Now, since, COVID is still a big narrative, it's not even a narrative, it's what's going on out there. Since it's such a big thing this season in the NFL, let's get another last second reminder before we head into the NFL season what kind of the overall protocols are for vaccinated versus unvaccinated players, because that's going to be a story and a narrative throughout this entire season, folks. I mean, geez Louise, every time COVID comes up, that's going to be the first question. Well, were they vaccinated or not? And then they get villainized and all that, and then run through the ringer of why they should be cut and not on the team and all that. I mean, folks, gear up for that, because that's going to be happening every single week throughout the NFL season. We'll try not to do it because it's boring and it's tiresome, and it's like, oh, we get it. Okay, we truly get it. Okay. But here we go. Unvaccinated players who test positive are out for 10 days. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Unvaccinated and test positive, you are out for 10 days. We'll see you in 10 days. We'll test you there. You're still positive. Well, we got to keep waiting a couple more days until you test negative. So unvaccinated who test positive, 10 days out. Now, if you are vaccinated and test positive, you can return if symptom-free by having 2 negative tests 24 hours apart. So if you are vaccinated, test positive for COVID, but do not have any symptoms, you basically are out for kind of 2 days. You have to test negative 24 hours apart. That's kind of basically 2 days. You get tested today. You get checked 24 hours from now, so you miss today, and then, whatever, let's say, they test you find out at kind of like 3 o'clock, so you're out 3 o'clock today, you have to test 2 times negative in 24 hours, so that's kind of tomorrow at kind of 3 o'clock, so you kind of missed that day too, so kind of like 2 days. Maybe if you catch it really early, it's only kind of classified as 1 day, like however you want to classify it. So 24 hours apart, you have to have 2 negative tests. All right, unvaccinated players who are close contact are out 5 days. Once again, no ifs and or buts. It is 5 days, and this is like the true unfortunate part. Unvaccinated players who are close contacts, because, if you are vaccinated and test positive, you could still be part of that close contact, so that would suck. You know what we're saying? So, unvaccinated players who are close contacts are out 5 days. If you are vaccinated and a close contact, you don't miss time, but you will be subject to daily testing. So, once again, there is a clear-cut benefit of being vaccinated. You can get back quicker, and that's definitely positive, since we've got 7 days between games, technically, usually 6, however you really want to classify it or count it. So, being out 10 days is instant guaranteed missing a game, and that's by unvaccinated. If you are vaccinated, you really are never quite out of it unless you are showing symptoms. If you are vaccinated and showing symptoms, then you have to ride it out and wait till you come back and test negative, which is kind of what have you been hearing? Basically 10 to 14 days. Hasn't that kind of just been the kind of story and the narrative just throughout this entire COVID thing? Hey, you have to kind of quarantine if you test positive for about 10 to 14 days, because that's how long it takes to kind of clear the virus. So if you are vaccinated and show symptoms, you are out for as long as you have the COVID. So that's potentially 10 to 14 days, potentially. So it's it's still going to play a factor. We're already seeing it come week 1, but that is the reminder here, folks. There are clear differences and advantages of being vaccinated. Not everybody's vaccinated. Like we've been saying here the entire time, we've got no problem. We believe it's your choice. If you want to get the vaccine, it's there. Go get it. If you don't, I believe that is your choice. So players are kind of taking that on. We've been hearing from Cole Beasley a lot. He's basically been the freaking the main unvaccinated guy that everybody's taking shots at. Carson Wentz isn't vaccinated. He just talked about that. He, once again, believes it's his choice and all that, doesn't want to get into it, and we totally understand that. But those are the differences between vaccinated and unvaccinated players this season. So we'll see how it affects teams, how it affects players. Hopefully nothing too detrimental for the season overall as a whole, and only time will tell. So obviously we'll be keeping tracks of this. This is going to be the biggest story every single week, every single day, every single case that comes out. It's going to be front page news, blasted all over the media. So buckle up, because it's going to be nonstop till February. Hopefully not overbearing, but like we said, who knows? Only time will tell. Alrighty. Let's move on to this. No more COVID news for today, thank goodness. But here we go. The 49ers are signing veteran cornerback Josh Norman. Wow, we haven't heard that name in a while, right? At a high level. And once again, this is the perfect example of kind of what we say a lot here on the show. It is hard to maintain top tier in a single position for more than 1 year, and if we kind of always bring it back to like a 4-year stretch. Josh Norman didn't even get a 4-year stretch. He got like a 1 year kind of storyline. That was all with Josh Norman, and then he sunk down to oblivion. And then the biggest thing that he's known for is getting stiff-armed by Derrick Henry. I believe that was Josh Norman. Is that in the comments? Yeah, right right here. Derrick Henry absolutely destroying Josh Norman on a stiff arm. Like, how How do you do this as a defender in the league, folks? How are you turned horizontal in the air? How do you even get to this point? It's because it's mother-loving Derrick Henry. Do you see the size difference between these two players, folks? One is an offensive running back and the other is a defender. Look how much the size difference is, folks. Oh my gosh. So this is what Josh Norman is known for now. Josh Norman is not known for being a lockdown cornerback for 1 year that got to the Super Bowl. That's not his narrative anymore. That's not his storyline, and it's truly unfortunate. But once again, it is truly hard to maintain that top tier level shutdown status. He held it for 1 year. 1 year, Josh Norman was the talk of the town. Next year, nothing. Mute. So when we look at kind of Josh Norman's stats, it was that 2015 year. That was the only year he made to the Pro Bowl, and they got to the Super Bowl. The Carolina Panthers, folks. It was Carolina versus the Broncos, and we all know how that one ended. Truly unfortunate. Cam Newton didn't look that good. The whole offense didn't look good for Carolina. They only put up 10 points. So that was his one good year, folks. 2015 Pro Bowl year. Got to the Super Bowl. Lockdown corner. He had 4 picks that season with 2 pick sixes. He had 2 fumble recoveries, 3 forced fumbles, all over the place. So that was his big year, and then he's just fallen off. So after that 2015 year, he went to Washington and just never was really the same after that. He spent, 4 years in Washington, and then he went to Buffalo last season. And, that's where we get, the classic Josh Norman picture of him getting stiff-armed by our man Derrick Henry out here. And the rest is history. But he just goes and signs with the 49ers, so we'll see if he can kind of, revitalize his career there. Kind of Richard Sherman kind of played the same route. Richard Sherman wasn't really the talk of the town anymore. He had to sign with the 49ers. Richard Sherman didn't really do anything that great for the 49ers, so we'll see if Josh Norman can revitalize his career here with the 49ers. But before we move off of Josh Norman, let's go to our favorite website, playerprofiler.com, and see what Josh Norman is doing. Is he still locking up the A1 Tier 1 wide receivers in this league, or is this man truly just done in this league? So let's go back to, how far can we go back? We can go back to 2018. Let's see what he was doing in 2018. Was he still bad in 2018? And then we'll look at the 2020 season where he played a couple of games. So let's go to 2018. Let's see what Josh Norman was looking like in 2018 against some good wide receivers. So here we go. Week 5 against Michael Thomas in 2018. He went 2 for 2 for 90. Okay, well, we already know this man is trash. How you give up 93 yards on 2 targets and 2 receptions allowed? Jeez, Louis, that's an absolute big burn. That's a monster inferno burn right there. Jeez, and we know Michael Thomas is definitely A1 Tier 1. All right, against Devontae Adams, 4 of 7 for 95 yards. This man is... This is what we're talking about, folks. He had one good season every year after that 2015 season was absolutely abysmal, folks. It is hard to maintain your top-level status at a position, folks. That's what makes Tom Brady just so freaking special. He's the biggest outlier in everything we talk about right here. Josh Norman had one good year, and now he's giving up 93 yards, 95 yards a game. Oh, my gosh. All right, against OBJ, 8 of 11 for 106 yards, burn. Against Julio Jones, 6 of 9 for 103 yards, burn. Mike Evans, he went 1 of 2 for 12 yards, finally locking up somebody good. Against DeAndre Hopkins, 3 of 5 for 33 yards. All right, not bad there. Against Amari Cooper, 5 of 8 for 47 yards. That's what we're talking about. And 2 pass breakups. Against Corey Davis, 3 of 4 for 45 yards. And against Alshon Jeffrey, 5 of 5 for 62 yards. So he got off to a real slow start. About the first 8 weeks of the season, it was just a gauntlet for this man. Once again, he was kind of highly regarded as a lockdown corner. So him going against kind of the A1 Tier 1 wide receivers was basically what he was getting paid for, because he's kind of coming off that 2015 contract when he signed with Washington. And he was getting burned by every good wide receiver out here, folks. You are highly regarded as a lockdown corner for 1 year, and now are getting burned just a few years later. That's just how it goes in the league, folks. Consistency in this league, it's so hard to maintain. Everybody that does it for more than kind of a 4-year stretch is a true outlier, and there are some players that can't even do it for more than 1 season, folks. So that was 2018. That was a brutal season for this man. I mean, what a gauntlet of wide receivers to have to face. Devontae Adams, Michael Thomas, OBJ, Julio Jones, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Amari Cooper. That's 7 A1 Tier 1 wide receivers. And then there's plenty of kind of Tier 2s in Corey Davis. And Corey Davis at this time was kind of, just emerging in this league. This may have been his rookie season, 2018. But now we know Corey Davis can be an A1 Tier 1. So, Corey Davis at the time maybe kind of top Tier 2. Alshon Jeffrey, kind of Tier 2-ish. Sterling Shepard. Who else do we got? Torrey Smith is Tier 2. So, I mean, wow, geez, a lot of great players to go against, and he kind of floundered every step of the way. But let's fast forward to last season. Was he getting it done? Well, he didn't even play that many games. So let's see who he kind of went against here just last season come 2020. All right, against Brashad Perryman for the Jets, 0 of 0 for 0 yards. We can get behind that. That's a big old lockup. Against Nelson Aguilar, 5 of 7 for 37 yards. We'll take that. That's a good lockup right there. Against A.J. Brown of the Titans, 6 of 8 for 65 yards. A little bit of a burn. Demarcus Robinson, 7 of 8 for 89 yards. Big burn there. What else we got? He locked up Jalen Guyton, so congrats, because that man is nothing. No disrespect to him, but we've never heard of the man. Against Jerry Jeudy, 0 of 0 for 0 yards. Yeah, locking up Jerry Jeudy, we can get behind that. Against Amir Byrd, 0 of 1 for 0 yards. And then against Devontae Parker, 7 of 12 for 87 yards. But like we said, folks, I mean, he was locking up no names. That's good. But against the best competition, he was still getting burned. And he really didn't face kind of a true A1 Tier 1 wide receiver. A.J. Brown's real solid. Jerry Jeudy's real solid, but he was a rookie last season. Devontae Parker can't stay healthy, but he was healthy for this game. And he still got burned by Devontae Parker, who's not an A1 Tier 1 wide receiver in this league, folks. I mean, I like to call him a Tier 2 when he's healthy, but he's never healthy, so I can't even really call him a Tier 2. He's got to be Tier 3 because he's never consistently healthy and out there. So Josh Norman, when you're just looking at these stats, they're not bad, but he didn't play every single week, missed weeks 7 through 11 here. So he was missing some time, wasn't going against the best wide receivers, but we'll see if he can revitalize his career here with the 49ers. I don't think he's going to be a starter here. Let's get up their depth chart quickly. I doubt he's going to be one of the starting cornerbacks here, but some solid rotational depth, and that's exactly where kind of Josh Norman can definitely fit, just be a rotational piece back there. I would still give him credit for that. I don't think he's a true number 1 corner that he can lock up everybody. I would not put him out there in that. Maybe a second corner, your number 2 corner, maybe, but a number 3 corner, absolutely. I'll give him that title, no problem. So when we look at the 49ers depth chart, they got Jason Verrett and Emmanuel Mosley as their starting corners, and then we got Josh Norman kind of number 4 on this team, which is, yeah, that's exactly number 3, number 4. I would give Josh Norman that. I would sign Josh Norman for that. So, and it's kind of also interesting, we're still talking about and haven't been seeing Richard Sherman signed, but they go with Josh Norman over Richard Sherman. I think I go with Richard Sherman over Josh Norman, but remember what happened with Richard Sherman this offseason? Got a little drunk. Banged on a little door too hard, trying to break it down. Little threats, little drunk driving, little resisting arrest. Not great. So we'll see if Richard Sherman plays this season. But the 49ers go with Josh Norman. And, they probably wouldn't go with Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman was there last season, left there. So we get that. But they still go with Josh Norman over him. Truly unfortunate. So we'll keep an eye on this 49ers team all season, and we'll try to keep a nice specific lens on Josh Norman to see if he's kind of revitalizing his career, getting back up there. How old is he? 33. Yeah, this might be his last ride. Last ride as a backup. So we'll see what Josh Norman can do this season. Alrighty. Folks, I mean, we forgot. We thought all starting quarterbacks were named, but We forgot one. So, the Texans officially named their starting quarterback. Who could it be? Well, we all know it's not Deshaun Watson, but the Texans finally announced, we all know who is going to be it. Tyrod Taylor is the starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars for Sunday's game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, great to see Tyrod Taylor out there. Now, we haven't really talked too in-depth about Tyrod Taylor this season. We just really wanted to see him get another chance just because, the unfortunate circumstances that happened last season where he was a starter, but then it got taken away from him. Truly unfortunate. Real quick. Couldn't really prove himself, but now he's got the opportunity to reprove himself here in Houston. So let's quickly go through some of Tyrod Taylor's stats. We have a nice little quick highlight package, a nice 3-minute highlight package on all of his career throws. Quick, we can see what he can do, but can we buy into Tyrod Taylor? Can he make this Texans team work? So let's see, is Tyrod Taylor a serviceable option at quarterback? So let's go into his history here. So he's been in the league ever since 2011, didn't start his first 4 years, and then finally went to Buffalo. He started his first 4 years in Baltimore, like we said, never started, but then he went to Buffalo and started 3 seasons. So in 2015, he started 14 games and went 7-6. Not the greatest there. He threw for 3,000 yards, 63% completion percentage, 20 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. So that's fantastic. Not really turning over the ball, and we can definitely see that here by a quick glimpse of his interceptions. He doesn't even have double-digit interceptions in a single season, and he had 3 straight starting seasons with the Buffalo Bills. So that's really great. He doesn't really turn over the ball. Now, we do kind of know he's a little bit of a dual threat. How much of a dual threat? So let's go to his rushing yards. Here we go in 2015, 500 rushing yards, so a total of like 3,500 yards. That's not bad. We still want you to be in kind of 4,000 yard territory, but for his first starting season, not bad overall. So that's something to build upon. Let's see if he did that. So 2016, once again, with the Bills, started 15 games, went 7-8. So, all right, the record is not the greatest. Let's see if his stats improved. He dropped down in completion percentage to 61%, still only 3,000 yards. Touchdowns came down a little bit, only 17 touchdowns, but still only 6 interceptions. I can get behind single-digit interceptions, definitely, but we definitely need to see like 20-plus touchdowns throwing. So, let's see what he was doing rushing the ball here in 2016. He had 500 yards again rushing and 6 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns in 2015 rushing. He had 6 touchdowns here rushing in 2016. So that dual threat ability is still solid here, folks. Once again, still 3,500 yards. Would love to see you be 4,000. So not bad there. And then his last starting season in Buffalo, 2017, started 14 games, went 8-6. A little bit better there. 62% completion percentage. Yards came down mightily. We don't love seeing this. 2,700 yards, rounded up to 2,800 yards, right on the money. 14 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. All right, I don't understand why all these passing touchdowns are coming down every single season. That's not promising. That's not what we should be seeing. And then rushing yards for 2016, we get... or 2017, 427 with another 4 rushing touchdowns. So overall, just kind of mediocre-ish. He could definitely do a little bit more out there, but he's got a chance to kind of revitalize it here with the Houston Texans. Now, after 2017, he went to Cleveland. He started 3 games, went 1-1 with nothing meaningful. He threw 49% completion percentage in 3 games. That's absolutely not good. Then he went to the Chargers in 2019, in 2020, and only started 1 game. And in that 1 game in 2020, before the doctor screwed him up, he won the game, so that's good. 53% completion percentage, 208 yards. Once again, 0 touchdowns thrown and 0 interceptions. So we definitely need to see him throw the ball a little bit more deeper, trust himself, got to score more touchdowns as well. Kind of like what we've been talking about with Teddy Bridgewater. Yes, the stats are good, but we need you to put up the points. Now with Tyrod Taylor, the stats aren't as good as Teddy Bridgewater, and the touchdowns are kind of the same as Teddy Bridgewater, what he's putting up. So we definitely need to see a little bit of an improvement here by Tyrod Taylor. Unfortunately, he hasn't kind of always been a starter. So, he might get hot, but then he goes cold because he's been, a backup for the last 3 seasons. Now, finally getting a chance to be the starter here. So we'll see if he can stay healthy, no team doctor screw him up, and we'll see if he can turn around this Texans team, which is definitely going to be hard because even Deshaun Watson couldn't even do that. Deshaun Watson only won 4 games last season. And Tyrod Taylor, I don't want to disrespect him, but he's nowhere near the level of Deshaun Watson. Not a lot of quarterbacks are, so it's not that big of a dig on Tyrod Taylor. So, Tyrod Taylor has his work cut out for him. He's got to put up his best season. I mean, we can't go back to 2015, 2016, 2017. This is really nothing great anymore in this league. I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm not trying to disrespect Tyrod Taylor here, but I take any other quarterback over Tyrod Taylor just looking at these stats. Now, if he can kind of come out and do good here and, have a real great season of like 65% completion percentage, I would even count kind of 3,500 yards. I won't even kind of hold him to that 4,000 yard standard this season because he's been sitting, but the completion percentage has to be there. I gotta see like 65%, especially in this kind of inflated era of completion percentage that we are in now. And then we have to see the touchdown passes rise. I've got to see 20 plus. So if you can throw 65%, 35 plus 100 yards, and 20 plus touchdowns while keeping it single digit interceptions, I could buy Tyrod Taylor for next year being a starter somewhere or getting kind of another here in Houston before they do whatever they want to do at the quarterback position moving on. So Tyrod Taylor, we'll see if he's got it. He's only 32, so still young. Still can do it. I mean, he still has a potential kind of 3-4 years in his prime out here. So we could still expect some good things out of Tyrod Taylor here. He can do it. We hope. All right, but let's talk about the offense. Is he going to have any good, serviceable playmakers, weapons that can help him out a little bit out here? So, running back, we get Mark Ingram, who's going to be the starter. Once again, real solid, serviceable, nice veteran who's been around the block, and he's always been real solid. Mark Ingram, I can bring up stats quickly. I'm almost certain he's got multiple 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Almost positive, almost certain. Oh, yeah. So, 3 1,000-yard rushing seasons. Fantastic for the man getting it done. Love seeing that. So, sorry, my headphones are going crazy real quick. So, all right, but back to Mark Ingram. Yeah, I mean, multiple 1,000-yard rushing seasons, definitely up there, so he can definitely take over the reins. The only kind of knock on Mark Ingram is that he's a little bit older, 31 out here, in running back terms is a little bit older, but we'll see if he can kind of get it done this season. He has proven it. Last season, his yards were down low with the Ravens with only 299, but that was just because of circumstances, because they had 2 other running backs ahead of him, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Mark Ingram was just the number 3 running back out there. So no worries about, he only had 300 yards last season. Well, yeah, that's because he wasn't the main guy. Now he's the main guy here in Houston, and they still have David Johnson and Phillip Lindsay behind him. I mean, this is a stacked running back core. I don't even know if I would put Mark Ingram as a starting running back if I was kind of the Houston Texans head coach. I think I would kind of go... it'd be close. I think I would give David Johnson the start, Phillip Lindsay number 2, and then Mark Ingram number 3, but they're all getting solid rotations just like the Ravens did last season. Every single play, a new running back there with fresh legs in the backfield. So running back is clear for Tyrod Taylor. He doesn't have to kind of do it all himself in the passing game. He can just be a little bit of a game manager out here and let the running game kind of take over. That is a possibility of what they can do offensively. And then here we go, their wide receivers, Brandon Cooks. Yes, sir, absolutely. Let's get his career stats up. I'm almost certain he's got multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Let's double check his stats quickly. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say at least 3. Here we go. Oh, and I was wrong. I went way under. I'm sorry, Brandon Cooks. I didn't mean to disrespect you by going under on your 1,000-yard receiving season totals. This man gets it done. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 years. 5 out of 7 years with 1,000 yards receiving seasons. I'll take that all day long, baby. And look at some of these catch percentage seasons. I can get behind this. 76, 65, 66, 68, 68. I can get behind that. So surefire hands, surefire catcher, getting it down the middle of the field, down the field. We can get behind Brandon Cooks. So once again, Tyrod Taylor is going to have a nice weapon offensively, wide receiver with their number one. What about their number two, Chris Connolly? Can Chris Connolly get it done? I think so, folks. I don't think he's got 5,000-yard receiving seasons, but I'm going to guess 2 or 3. Let's see what we got up here. Chris Connolly. What is this man doing? Okay, yeah, he hasn't. Yeah, he's got 0. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. I know he's not as good as Brandon Cooks, but he's nice, tall, 6'3". I'll take that. Give me 6'3" on this squad. Chris Connolly, and once again, Chris Connolly was never kind of the A1 tier 1 wide receiver on that Chiefs team or even Jacksonville the last 2 seasons. It was kind of DJ Chark. So him not being the number 1 option, nice 6'3" out here. Still decent numbers. We've got like a 500-yard season. He had a 775-yard receiving season in 2019. If you can get back to that form, absolutely. So, yeah, love that. All right, and then tier 3 wide receiver. Who's their third? We got Anthony Miller. All righty, I think he's got 2,000-yard receiving seasons. Let's double check. Let's see what Anthony Miller's got. Oh, he's got 0. All right, 3 seasons with the Bears, going into his 4th year overall. His best receiving season was 656 yards. All righty, only 5'11", so he doesn't have the height factor, but still a nice serviceable weapon. These Texans wide receivers aren't as good as they were last season. I mean, last season they were deep. They had like 5 deep. So they definitely don't have that, but some solid serviceable options with a nice number 1 option in Brandon Cooks and some solid running backs in that matter as well. And then let's talk about the tight ends, because we know tight end university, tight ends are here to stake their claim this season and break out of the box and really kind of ready to emerge on the scene. So their tight end is Jordan Akins. Alrighty, what do we got here with Jordan Akins? I don't think Jordan Akins was part of Tight End University, which is not what we really want to hear or see, but 3 seasons with the Texans for Jordan Akins, and he had back-to-back 400-yard receiving seasons, so not bad. He's only 6'4", which is a little on the shorter side. We really want to see 6'5", 6'6", but 6'4" isn't too bad. And then we get Pharaoh Brown. There's tier 2 tight end out here. Let's see what he's got going on. He's 6'6". That's what we're talking about. 2 seasons in the league and hasn't really done anything. Only played 9 games his rookie year in 2019 with the Browns for only 27 yards. Not great. And then last season with the Texans, only 163 yards. But he's 6'6", so we'll see if he can get it done. So not bad here at tight end. Definitely could be a little bit better. So Tyrod Taylor, some decent weapons, but he's definitely going to have to kind of do it himself a couple of times out here as well. So we'll see how it all holds up for the Texans. It's not a bad overall offensive team, but it's not the greatest. You know, some question marks with Tyrod Taylor just because he hasn't been the starter in a while. Some question marks on the depth here at the wide receiver position. They only really have like 5 wide receivers on this team overall. So it's like, okay, no real good depth here. So we'll see what Tyrod Taylor can do. Before we move off of this, let's just quickly watch a highlight package for Tyrod Taylor. It's only 3 minutes, career highlights here, and let's see what this man can do, because we just looked at the stats. They're not terrible. They're building. I would say those are buildable stats that could potentially rise and blossom into something solid, but they've got to be a little bit more out here, a little bit more. So let's see if his film does him a little bit of justice. Are we seeing great kind of deep ball accuracy? Are we just seeing great escapability? Are we seeing great finesse in the pocket? Are we seeing great finesse in the red zone? That's what we want to see to have us kind of buy a little bit more into Tyrod Taylor come week 1 versus the Jags. So let's see what we get here. Here we go. Tyrod Taylor. Here we go. First highlights from the Bills, and they're probably all going to be from the Bills because that's where he started. He didn't start anywhere else besides the Buffalo Bills. So here we go. First play, go in deep. That's what we want to see all the way down, and bingo, bango. Bingo, bango. I mean, folks, he's throwing this from his own 45-yard line, getting it all the way down to the end zone for the touchdowns. I believe that is Sammy Watkins. But, I mean, that's 55 yards clean, accurate as heck. So the man's got the arm. Don't worry about the arm. That's definitely going to play well with with Brandon Cooks. I mean, the wide receiver that he has. So he can definitely catch some nice one-on-one deep balls, no problem. All right, here we go. Play number 2 from the 20, and here it is. Oh, my God. Or is this Travis Belgian? Or no, that is Sammy Watkins. Jeez. They've had kind of two beefy wide receivers, Travis Benjamin and Sammy Watkins, 2 wide receivers that just kind of beefed up. Nobody expecting them to beef up, but prime Sammy Watkins was kind of a problem. But here we go. A totally beautiful corner of the end zone fade right here, throwing it from the red zone, and once again, just that finesse, the great accuracy right here, folks. I mean, just look how perfect that ball is thrown. Jeez Louise, fantastic, and he did it in the red zone, so that's fantastic. Here we go, throwing. Oh my God, the arm is not a problem. Holy moly, we have to count the yards, folks. He's gonna throw this from his own 10-yard line, and folks, just look at this. Oh, that is beautiful form. Oh man, maybe we can buy Tyrod Taylor $1 trillion, folks. Jeez Louise. Man, oh man, this form is great. So he's going to throw from his own 10-yard line. Let's count the yards on this one. Where does this end up? Jeez. The cameraman doesn't even know how to freaking follow this ball because it's so wild. Is it caught? It's caught right here. It's caught from the 35-yard line. Oh my God. So we get 40 yards to the 50, and then we get another 15 yards to the 35. Once again, 55 yards clean. This man is slinging it around. Oh my. Yes, sir. Oh my. Hang on. I clicked on the wrong video. Hang on. All right, we're back at it. All right, here we go. From kind of the red zone, and once again, he's taking off. And look at this, folks. Look at this fast as heck acceleration. Watch out for Tyrod Taylor. This is definite speed that is still kind of comparable to Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, ask Patrick Mahomes. And here we go, the escapability on 3rd and 4 in the red zone, almost getting taken down, finding a way to escape the pocket, rolling out to the left. So he's got the arm strength, he's got the speed, he's got the athleticism, he's got the accuracy. Now, he is kind of 3 years removed from this, folks, kind of 15, 16, 17, and then not playing until kind of this season as a starter. So maybe a slight little drop off, but if this man is still getting it done, I mean, this man's been flying under the radar, absolutely. I mean, when was the last time anybody has talked about Tyrod Taylor? And it's like we said, nobody's disrespecting Tyrod Taylor. It's just unfortunate he's never been a starter, so you don't get the attention. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it goes. Now that he's confirmed the starter, that we're gonna see him on a weekly basis, we're gonna be talking about him. He's one of the starters out here. We'll see if we can buy into him, if he's gonna turn around this Texans team. Let's keep these highlights going. Here we go, throwing from his own 40, or the Dolphins 45-yard line, their opponent's 45-yard line, and once again, just going to Sammy Watkins, deep, one-on-one matchup, back of the end zone, and this man's got perfect deep ball accuracy. Look at this man lay it out there exactly where it needs to be, right at the very last step of the end zone. And here we go, read option, beating everybody. Look at the speed. Nobody's even close to him, folks. He's beating everybody with this sheer speed. So another element of his game that hopefully can be utilized, especially with the 3 great running backs that they have. The read option, the RPOs, absolutely. That's what he can do and bring to this Texans team. Hopefully the offensive coordinator for the Texans and the head coach knows what this man's game is, and hopefully schemes their way to a ton of victories, because this man's really got it all. And like we said, he's still decently young, folks. What do we say, 31? Real solid. 31, 33? All right, from the opponent's 30-yard line. Why are these? Oh, all these highlights are from the Dolphins. Can we stop this, please? Wide open in the back of the end zone. That's a touchdown. Finally, here we go. He's playing with the Browns here against the Saints. Going deep. Oh my God, again! Oh my God, again with the deep ball, folks. Oh my God. And this one's even better because it's 4th and 5. They're down 6 points with only 1:23 seconds left, and it's game on the line. And he says, oh, y'all want to call game? I'm going to call the mother-loving game, because I'm going to lay this one out, throwing from my own 45-yard line. The 45-yard line that gets all the way back to the back of the end zone. So that's 55 yards to the front of the end zone. Another at least 5 yards here. That is 60 yards clean. This man's got the cannon, folks. He's got the cannon in his arms and the wheels on his feet, folks. Call this man Wheels and Cannon. That's Tyrod Taylor's new nickname, Wheels and Cannon. Cannon and Wheels. C and H. He's ready to rock this season, folks. Jeez, man. Fantastic. I'm loving it, man. Oh, can't wait to see what this man does. Woof, they don't show this in the stats. They don't show that in the stats. Love it. Did they win this game? I got to see if they won this game. I hope that was a game-winning throw right there and that the Saints couldn't come back. Let's see if we can quickly bring this up. He played for the Browns in 2018. Faced the Saints here in week 2. Oh, they lost. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Did they miss the extra point? They missed the extra point. No way, because it was 12-18. He throws a touchdown, and they lose 21-18. Absolute. Come on, Browns. Y'all were so trash. Y'all couldn't even give Tyrod Taylor that game. The kicker misses the extra point, and the defense gives up a field goal to lose the game at the last second. 21 seconds left. Will Lutz's 44-yard field goal. The Browns defense floundered that much? Oh my God. Oh my God. Come on. See what happened? See what the records are here with Tyrod Taylor? We just told you the Bills' records were a little bit lackluster, but now we know that it was the defense and special teams' fault. Tyrod Taylor was leading that Bills team to 3 consecutive 16-0 seasons, and the defense and special teams floundered on the man. Damn it. And this is definitely not good for this Houston Texans team that doesn't really have that good of a defense or a team overall. We'll see. Woof, that was fantastic. All right, here we go. Tyrod Taylor back in the red zone. Just beautiful accuracy right there. Oh, my goodness. They're getting blown out here, but it's beautiful accuracy. They're getting blown out 47-10. Jeez Louise. Now 54-17 in the same game. He scores another touchdown. He just runs it in from the 2-yard line. Once again, the dual threat ability. Here we go, back in the red zone against the Chiefs. Boom, boom. Good accuracy right there, waiting for the play to develop. Perfect. Here we go. He's playing with the Ravens. A nice throw kind of on the goal line right here. Another one for the Ravens, escaping out of the pocket and then just beating everybody to the end zone. Easy peasy. So we know this man's got the wheels. He's got the speed. Call him Cannon and Wheels, whatever you want to call him. Just don't call him late for supper because this man is going to be eating all mother-loving season, folks. So Tyrod Taylor, we're believing in him. We are officially Tyrod Taylor believers to open up this season, folks. We will get behind this man. So now Tyrod Taylor is officially named the Texans starting quarterback, and his odds closed at minus 500. So if you put some money on there, you would have had to put a lot of money to win anything. But if you did that, that was a surefire guaranteed, and you made some money. So congratulations on that. Close odds at minus 500. All right, last story to talk about here. I want to just go over this quickly because a nice little article right here. We have not read it. We saved this live here. But they posed this question. Well, not even a question. It's not a statement. But according to Bucky Brooks, how Jameis Winston will change the Saints' attack. All right, so how is Jameis Winston going to change the Saints' attack? Is he going to change it that much? I mean, Drew Brees, what do we know Drew Brees is? A big arm quarterback, a pure pocket passer that is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. One of the best pure passers of all time. Multiple 5,000-yard seasons, big arm, great reads, can run an offense, no problem, can be a great leader. But what does Jameis Winston do that Drew Brees doesn't do? Jameis Winston, he's not a dual threat. Taysom Hill was the dual threat option here. Jameis Winston has no dual threat ability, folks. Absolutely zero. We can go. I'll go to his stats real quick. I want to say maybe he's got like 200 rushing yards in a season, but I mean, that's not dual threat ability, folks. That's just escaping out of the pocket a couple of times a game because there's nothing open for about 3 or 4 yards, maybe on 3rd and 4 to pick up a first down, something like that. That's all like 200 rushing yards is as a quarterback in this league. That's nothing. So let's see what he was doing rushing the ball here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So here we go. Year 1, 213 yards. Year 2, 165, 135, 281, 250. I mean, folks, we're talking about 13, 10, 10, 25, 15 yards a game rushing. That's, like we said, picking up 1 first down a game maybe. You know what we mean? Nothing big. So this man is not a dual threat at all. So that's not going to be a difference that Jameis Winston is going to bring to the Saints attack. Jameis Winston, we just saw he's got the deep ball. We know he's got the deep ball. We just saw that in preseason game number 3. Absolutely letting it fly. We absolutely loved it. That's really what won him the starting job. So that's not going to change. Drew Brees has had the strong arm. He's got a 5,000-yard season, so we know he can sling the ball around. That's what Drew Brees does. So I want to see what Bucky Brooks is saying here. How is Jameis Winston going to change the Saints' attack? Because I really think you could just implement the same offense, because they're kind of the same quarterbacks out here, really. I don't see Jameis Winston doing anything better or different than what Drew Brees does. So let's see what Bucky Brooks is saying. Maybe we're missing something. Maybe he can sell us on what he thinks is going to happen. So let's see what he says about Jameis Winston in the Saints attack. So here we go. This is by Bucky Brooks. Here we go. Writer for NFL.com. Here we go. I was not surprised to see Jameis Winston emerge from a closely watched quarterback battle with Taysom Hill as the New Orleans Saints quarterback number 1. Were we surprised? We weren't too surprised. We thought Taysom Hill had a little bit of a leg up over Jameis Winston, but then we saw preseason game number 3, and that kind of solidified it for us. Taysom Hill didn't go out and win the starting job. We were kind of disappointed with his performance, but I don't think I wouldn't be surprised. So me and Bucky Brooks were not surprised Jameis Winston won the starting job, but we did think Taysom Hill was in the beginning a little bit ahead. Back to the article. Despite the narrative surrounding his game, the former number 1 overall pick is an A-level talent with the football IQ and big arm to play at a high level in this league. He is one of only 8 quarterbacks in NFL history to pass for 5,000 yards in a single season. You ain't got to tell us this, Bucky. We talk about this stat all the time. We love this stat. This is such a coveted stat, folks. And now that we are kind of moving into the 17-game era, this kind of coveted 5,000-yard season is forever set in stone because they did it in 16 games, didn't need 17 games to get there. So we are going to have to find a new kind of coveted benchmark, and that's going to take a couple of seasons to kind of get a baseline for, but we'll do our best to get that baseline as quickly as possible. I'm going to kind of call it 5,250 yards, just because kind of 250 yards is kind of on pace for average of passing yards a game. So you add an extra game, you add an extra 250. So that's kind of our benchmark going into the 17-game era. We'll see if we have to adjust it. So yeah, we absolutely love that, and that's why we have so much love and respect for Jameis. I mean, we talked about that when we were talking about this quarterback duel. I mean, Jameis Winston will forever hold a special place in our heart because he's got this 5,000-yard season. Drew Brees has 4 of those 8, just so y'all know. Drew Brees is 4 of those 8 that's done it, so it's fantastic. Or maybe there's 8 and Drew Brees is the only one that's got multiple. I think that might be what it is. Dan Marino's got one from the 80s. How crazy is that? Jameis Winston's got one. Aaron Rodgers. Has Aaron Rodgers got one? But whatever it is, Drew Brees has like 3 or 4. It's wild. It's wild. If you won one more Super Bowl, I would have classified Drew Brees as the greatest of all time just because of those multiple 5,000 yards stats, honestly. But back to this article. We love the 5,000-yard stat. Jeez. All right, here we go. And in that particular season, 2019, Winston's last in Tampa and last as a starter, he finished second in the league with 33 passing touchdowns. Sure, the naysayers will point out that he also piled up a whopping 35 turnovers that year. Sure, the naysayers will say, you have to say that. You can't just say, oh yeah, he threw 5,000 yards and 30 passing touchdowns. You can't just leave out the interception totals because you'd be like, oh, he must have went 16-0 that season. And you have to be like, no, he went 8-8. 8-8 to 5,000-yard passing. What the hell? What was the defense? Was that bad that they were giving up 50 points a game? Well, no, not the defense. Well, they were giving up a lot of points, but it was because 35 interceptions, 35 turnovers. It's like, oh, okay, why'd you lead with that in the first place? So you can't just brush over that fact, Bucky Brooks, okay? Yes, we can praise everything else. I'm praising the 5,000 yards. I'm praising the 33 touchdowns, but you can't just brush over the 35 turnovers, folks. That's absolutely absurd. Folks, can we be real? 35 turnovers by one person is so wild. It's so wild, folks. Come on. The naysayers, no, people, everybody that just no stats, that just is talking about stats. It's not the naysayers, folks. It's not like we're finding something to nitpick and this is a nitpickable stat. This is a big beef stat, folks. Come on, don't word it like that. Man, what are you trying to do here? What are we trying to do here, Bucky? Alrighty. Sure, the naysayers will point out that he had also piled up a whopping 35 turnovers that year, becoming the first member of the 30 for 30 club. Still, to me, there's no denying his talent and potential as QB1. Not to mention, the 27-year-old has 70 NFL starts under his belt. That's also true. I'm quite intrigued to see what he can accomplish while working with one of NFL's best play callers in Sean Payton. One of the NFL's best play callers? Okay, this is going to be something. Do we give Sean Payton the credit or do we give Drew Brees the credit? This is going to be kind of another Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. Obviously not to that degree and not to that factor, because the Saints with Drew Brees and Sean Payton have one Super Bowl appearance and one Super Bowl win, while Tom Brady and Bill Belichick got 9 appearances and 6 wins. I mean, okay. But this is something that we are going to have to track. We'll see how good Sean Payton is. Quote here by Sean Payton. The number one thing is leading your offense, moving the ball and scoring points. We feel like he's got a good, unique skill set with his arm talent, talking about Jameis Winston. Back to the article here by Bucky Brooks. Studying the Saints over the past few years, the team is increasingly played small ball with Drew Brees under center. To be clear, number 9 is no doubt Hall of Famer, but down the stretch of his illustrious career, Brees' arm noticeably eroded. That is true. That piled on with injuries every single year. I mean, folks, the last 2 seasons, Taysom Hill has had to come in and take over for multiple periods, 4 or 5 games, because of the injuries. And then also the arm declining. I think kind of Big Ben took so much of the limelight in kind of terms of arm strength and arm talent eroding that nobody even really talked about Drew Brees. And once again, kind of Drew Brees' injuries just kind of blocked out his arm declining. It was always on the injuries. Well, he's not 100% healthy, so he can't throw. Well, yeah, he's not 100% healthy, but also he was 41? The arm is naturally declining. Once again, Tom Brady's the outlier in literally everything. All right. Winston's ability to push the ball down the field will give the offense a dimension it's been missing for a while now. Has it? Has that been missing for a while now? Interesting. I want to go to Drew Brees' stats quickly. Has it really been dropping off that big? Let's go to his career stats because I want to see what his kind of yards per attempt were the last 2 seasons and then compared to his entire career. Was he kind of throwing shorter and shorter? Also, we can bring up his 5,000 yard seasons here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 4, folks. Oh my, I love it. Folks, you really have to give so much credit to that 5,000 yard season. And he's got a couple of 4,900. So real close to 5. And could you imagine 5 or 6 or 7? This man is very close to having 7. Because he's had a 4,900 yard season, a 4,900 yard season, and a 4,800 yard season. He led the league in passing yards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. Oh my goodness. Oh man, Drew Brees, if you had more than one ring, I would call you the greatest of all time. I need to see more than one, especially after 20 years of playing. I mean, geez Louise. But you're definitely top 3. I'll give him top 3. I've got no problem doing that. But he can't be 1. Truly unfortunate. All right. So here we go. Yards gained per pass attempt. This is the stat I want to look for. Yards gained per pass completion. Let's do yards gained per pass attempt because this will give us a better oversight of just attempts on ball, so they also count incompletions and all that. Is that right? Yards gained per pass attempt? No, that's just... Okay, I think that goes on completions. But either way, we're going to take this stat. Yards gained per pass... Yards gained per pass completion? All right, well, let's look at both. Let's see if there's any difference. So let's start here with the yards gained per pass completion. So his career average is 11.3. 11.3. His highest season was his first season where he didn't start any games at 14. So that's an outlier because he doesn't have the attempts there. But his yards gained per pass completion in his kind of early days. We're kind of talking about 2002 to 2010. We got kind of like a 12.1, a 12.4, a 12.3, a 12.1. And then from like 2010 to like 2020, we've got a 12.3, a lot of 11s, 11.4, 11.2, 11.0, 11.6, 11.7. So, I mean, it's not that much. The deep ball is not declining that much, I wouldn't say. I really don't agree 100% with Bucky Brooks saying that the deep ball is just declining over the last couple of seasons. I don't necessarily agree with that. And then the yards gained per pass attempt from 2002 to 2010, we've got 8.0, 7.2, 7.9, 8.0, 8.5. And then from 2010 to 2020, we've got a 7.0, an 8.3, 7.7, 7.9, 7.5, 8.1 that led the league in 2017. He led the league in yards per attempt. So, what are we doing? 8.2, 7.9, 7.5. So he's still slinging the ball. His yards per attempt are still about 8 yards, which is real good. 7.5 to 8 yards is real good. That's like kind of like what the top elite quarterbacks do. So I don't necessarily agree that, Jameis Winston's deep ball is better than Drew Brees' deep ball. I mean, we saw the deep balls in the preseason game, and they were kind of 45 yards. They were good. They're not 50, 55 yards. And then the last stat I want to just talk about real quickly here is the longest completed pass thrown in the season. So from 2001 to 2010, we had 40, 52, 68, 79, 54, 86, 58, 84, 75, 80, like 80-yard touchdown pass, which is mostly yards after the catch because you're not throwing 80 yards through the air. But then from 2011 to 2020, we've got 79, 80, 76, 69, 80, 98. His highest he's ever had was in 2016. Then we got 54, 72. Now, the last two seasons, 61 and 52, I would definitely say are a little bit light, but he missed a couple of games. He only played 11 games in 2019 and 12 games in 2020. So, once again, the injuries playing a part in that. I just don't agree with the overall arm strength declining heavily on its own. But let's keep going here. Okay, but down the stretch of his illustrious career, Brees' arm noticeably eroded. Winston's ability to push the ball down the field will give this offense a dimension it's been missing for a while now. Yeah, maybe for the last 2 years, but do we call that a while now? I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking too much. But let's keep going here. From throwing the deep ball over the top of the defense to pushing the ball to the boundary on the deep comebacks, New Orleans' new number one quarterback will enable Payton to stretch the field vertically and horizontally. In 2019, according to Next Gen Stats, Winston ranked second among NFL passers in both average completed air yards, 8.2, and average intended air yards. In 2019, that was his 30 for 30 season, so that's real good. Ranked second among NFL passers in both average completed air yards, 8.2, and average intended air yards, 10.5. All right, this kind of downfield passing threat could result in Alvin Kamara seeing fewer loaded boxes and +1 defensive fronts. Considering how the perennial Pro Bowler is able to slither through cracks and elude defenders in space, the Saints' ability to remove safeties from the box could enable the offense to utilize a more balanced approach. If Winston can take care of the football and avoid key risky plays, why does he bring up this? Didn't he just kind of gloss over the 35 turnovers? Oh, the naysayers say 35 turnovers, but then 2 paragraphs later, if Winston can take care of the football, well, are you saying he didn't take care of the football with 35 turnovers? Because I think that's an accurate assessment. Are you just a naysayer now? Or are you just a hater now because you brought that up? No, of course not. So what are you doing here, Bucky? Come on. If Winston can take care of the football and avoid risky plays, he can take this offense to the next level. The 7th-year pro simply needs to put a lesson that he learned from his predecessor into practice. Quote, by Jameis Winston. Just being able to execute and do my job, and that's something I've learned from Drew. Be Bruce Wayne until you have to be Batman. You don't have to be Batman all the time. Oh, I like that. Oh, he learned that from Drew Brees. I love that. Man, that's what we're talking about, Jameis. Learning from Drew Brees. That's all we told you to do. You can go back to our videos from last season, gearing up for the last season. That's all we wanted for Jameis Winston, to learn the most from Drew Brees, from passing to leadership, to leading a team, to just being a quarterback, being a professional. Jameis Winston took that job and ran with it, and for that, we truly applaud him, and for that, he truly deserves this starting job. So, Jameis Winston, I would like to take this moment to officially, formally apologize to you for not believing that you were the best quarterback fit for this job at the start, because like I said, we did have Taysom Hill above Jameis Winston at the beginning of this quarterback battle, but I would like to apologize to Jameis Winston for that. I am sorry, Jameis Winston. I should have never doubted you. I apologize. Hopefully you can forgive me, and we're looking forward to what you can do this year, baby. So Jameis Winston, absolutely go get it done. I don't agree 100% with Bucky Brooks here. I think the deep ball, I think the passing game is not going to be changing that much, but we'll see, and we'll see if Jameis Winston can utilize his weapons here, Sean Payton, and, the running back Alvin Kamara as well, and doesn't have 35 turnovers. Just don't have 35. I'll give you maybe 20 if you're putting up 5,000 yards. Maybe I can give 20. I don't want to. Maybe I can forgive it. Maybe, but we'll see. Jameis Winston, go get it done, kid. Alrighty, those were all the stories that we needed to cover and go over for today. So let's keep on going on with our NFL win total prop bets that Vegas has set. We've done 7 teams so far. We see what the line for the wins is. Then we go into these team schedules and see if we can find those number of wins. Are they winnable games on the schedule that we can imagine and kind of give kind of a 60% believability that they will win the game? That's kind of what we're looking for, like a 60%, 65%. We want something a little bit more than 50%, something that we can kind of sink our teeth into, that this team will beat their opposing team when we're looking at win totals. So we left off, the last team that we did was the Bears, so let's continue on here with the Cleveland Browns. And man, oh man, this win total is big. This is the second biggest win total that we've seen. So maybe their schedule is a little bit easy, and this is good for this team because we're expecting some big things here in kind of the year 2 with the overall personnel of this team. So here we go. The Cleveland Browns win total line is 10.5. Over 10.5 wins is -110. Under 10.5 wins is -110 as well. So there's no favorite here. We've got the half a game hook right on us, so we're really going to have to make our decision. But let's go into this Cleveland Browns schedule and see how many games we can expect this Cleveland Browns team to win this season. We are loving the Browns this year. We think Kevin Stefanski absolutely knows how to call plays and call the offense for Baker Mayfield to have success. We just saw the Browns had absolutely fantastic success last season, and we truly think it's going to carry over this year. So we're looking forward to this Browns team. Alrighty, here we go. Week 1. Sheesh. Oh, man, they did this Browns team dirty. Week 1, they got to face the Chiefs in Kansas City. Damn. I like the Browns. I can't give them a win week 1 coming out with the Chiefs. I'm sorry. I think it could be competitive, but I can't give the Browns a win there. All right, week number 2 against the Texans. Yeah, absolutely. That's a winnable game, no doubt. I know we just talked about Tyrod Taylor and we praised them, but overall, we don't like this team, the defense, anything like that. So, got to go with the Browns there. Then they go and face Chicago, and that's going to be a real good game as well. They are at home against the Bears, and pretty much I'm assuming Andy Dalton's most likely going to be playing this game. I think we kind of marked it at week 5. We would kind of see Justin Fields come in. So I'm giving the Browns here. If it's the Browns versus Andy Dalton, it's the Browns all day. And if it's the Browns versus Justin Fields, I like Justin Fields, but it might be the Browns too. So I don't know if quarterback's going to matter here. I don't like this Chicago team overall. The defense is going to have to get it done, and we'll see how good this defense is. But a lot of pressure on this team overall, but I love what the Browns are doing. So I'm going to give the Browns the win over the Bears. Then they go and face the Vikings, and once again, I'm just not loving the Vikings here. We'll see what the defense is looking like. We'll see if Kirk Cousins can just be solid throughout the entire year and win the big games and be serviceable and all that, but I'm going to give them a win against the Vikings as well. They are in Minneapolis, so it's going to be a tight, close game since it's on the road, but I like Baker Mayfield, and I love the way this offense is rolling. I got to go with the Browns. Then we get a game against the Chargers in another really good, solid, winnable game here. Another good, solid, winnable game here against the Chargers. Once again, the Chargers have a good team overall, a solid defense. We love Justin Herbert. We'll see how he does year 2. But I like the Browns here, folks. They are in California, a road game, gonna be tough. Man, these are good kind of middle of the pack teams. That they have to face the Bears, the Vikings, the Chargers, then they get the Cardinals and the Broncos and the Steelers. Geez, I mean, this is a nice, tough little 5-game stretch right here. But I'm going to give them a win against the Chargers as well. Another solid, winnable game that the defense is really going to have to kind of get it done, and Baker Mayfield just be that above-average game manager like we know he can be. I'm going to give them a win against the Chargers. Then they face the Cardinals, and once again, another tough. I mean, folks, this 5-week stretch is tough. Is it more than 5? Is it 6? It's 6. Bears, Vikings, Chargers, Cardinals, Broncos, Steelers. This is a tough 6-game stretch. So I think I'm just going to kind of give it an overall value of 4-2. I don't know which teams they're going to be at which weeks, but after facing 6 good, solid opponents, I think they may slip up on 2 of them, unfortunately. So I'm going to give them 6-2 or 4-2 out of this 6-game stretch. So we've got the win against the Texans, and then 4 more games. So we're at 5 wins after the Steelers. Y'all follow that? So from the Bears, the Vikings, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Steelers, facing them back to back, they go 4-2 during that stretch. Maybe lose against the Steelers, maybe lose against the Cardinals, but if they beat one of those, maybe they slip up against the Vikings or the Chargers early. I meant to say the Cardinals the first time. So we got 5 wins heading into Cincinnati, and they will sweep the Bengals, no problem. That is the easiest opponent there in their division that they can sweep, no worries. So they beat the Bengals. Then they go and face the Patriots. I'm going to believe in this Browns team. I don't know what I'm going to get from this Patriots team. Offensively, we'll see what Mac Jones can do against kind of the starters defensively and not having A1, Tier 1 weapons all over the place in college. I mean, he's got Tier 2s here through the wide receivers and the tight ends, but we'll see how he can handle up. And I don't know, is this Patriots defense going to be good? Stephon Gilmore is going to be missing some time. That's not the greatest, so I'm going to give him a win against the Patriots. Then they go and face the Lions. That's a real easy win right there. We're already at 8 wins. Then they face the Ravens, and I'm probably going to have them split against the Ravens. So their first game against the Ravens is in Baltimore. They lose that game. It's a Sunday night football game. They lose it. Then they go on the bye. Then they face the Ravens. I'm going to give them a win there against the Ravens. And then they face the Raiders. That's going to be a real good, solid game right here. They're in Cleveland, so I'm going to give them a win, especially with the Raiders at the end of the season where they usually flounder a little bit the last 2 seasons. So I'm going to give the Browns a win there. Then they face the Packers. Then they face the Steelers. Monday night, I'm going to say they lose against the Packers. Then they face the Steelers. They are in Pittsburgh for this game. Monday night football game at the end of the season. Going to be an absolute great one. We'll have them split against the Steelers, but we kind of looped that Steelers game into the kind of 4 out of the 6. So, So let's just kind of keep this as a loss here because this one is on the road. And then the last game of the season is against the Bengals, and we'll count that against with the win because we do have them sweeping the Bengals. So we do have 11 wins so far. We found 11 wins for this Browns team, so I think we can bet the over 10.5 wins because we already kind of factored in 2 losses that could definitely potentially be wins. We're kind of, cushioning this Browns schedule just a little bit. So we found 11 wins, easy, with factoring in the splits against kind of the Steelers and the Ravens and that kind of 2-game buffer over a definite winnable. I mean, those are solid 6 winnable games. I mean, it's not like the Browns are overmatched. They're kind of better or right at the same level as those 6 teams. The Bears, the Vikings, the Chargers, the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Steelers. They're right at the same level of all those talent, if not above. We just factored in 2 games because, usually teams don't win every game. You know what we're saying? So I think we're going to go with the over here. I'm going to believe in the over. Over 10.5. I'm seeing 11. I can definitely see 12. I'm going to say the over for the Browns. Alrighty, now let's go to the Bengals. Ooh, I'm not a believer in this team, folks. I'm just not a true believer in this team overall. Joe Burrow getting injured last season just put a huge damper on just the overall team last season. I'm not just getting everything together and then going into this offseason with everything on tape, building upon what they started last season. That really, his injury took that away a little bit. It did come a little bit later in the season, but still just having that full season under your belt would have been way better. Jamar Chase so far, big question marks around there. What's their defense looking like? Can we believe in their defense at all? I kind of like some of their offensive pieces. I like T. Higgins. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, I'm a believer in. Their tight end CJ Uzomah. What do we got there? 87 yards last season. He's 6'6". I can believe in him. He didn't go to tight end university, though. What's up with that? What do we got defensively? They got Von Bell, Trey Waynes, real solid there. Defensive backs. Trey Hendrickson, solid linebacker. Larry Ugo Joby on the defensive line. He'd be getting sacks, 2.5. 1 forced fumble. Okay. Sam Hubbard. What do we got him on the edge rusher? He be getting it done. Only 2 sacks. Definitely could be a little bit better. Who's their other edge rusher we got? Trey Hendrickson. I'm pretty sure he's good. He's got like 6+ last season. 13. Oh, geez. Blew me out the water. 13.5. All right. So that's definitely something that we can definitely buy into. A little bit good pass rushers. Some solid corners. They got Eli Apple too. Ooh, as a backup corner. I like that. Okay. So some solid depth right there. Okay, so not bad defense overall. Joe Mixon, we'll see. Did he rush for 1,000 yards last season? Only at 428. All right. Well, I'd like to see a little bit better out there. Just overall, it's just an overall team to me. I don't really see them making a splash. Unfortunately, I see Joe Burrow, being kind of the worst out of the quarterbacks from last season with, I see Tua being better than him. I see Justin Herbert was already better than him, so I'm seeing him already be more better than him. Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow may have Jalen Hurts. This is going to be interesting to see how both those quarterbacks play, but I think Tua is I'm not trying to disrespect Joe Burrow here, but I do think Tua is going to be kind of leaps and bounds ahead of Joe Burrow, and Justin Herbert was already leaps over Joe Burrow. Now he's going to be leaps and bounds over Joe Burrow, so I just can't buy 100% into the Bengals team, but we'll see what their schedule is looking like. But the Bengals win line is at 6.5. Under 6.5 is -115. Over 6.5 is -105. So Vegas is kind of saying, yeah, we're not big on this team. So let's see if we can find some wins here for this Bengals team. If they face the Lions, that's good. They're in a tough division. They could get swept by everybody in their division. That's not good. That's honestly a possibility, folks. That's a big possibility that they get swept by everybody in their division. But let's see what their schedule is looking like. Here we go. All right, game number 1 against the Vikings. I can't see it. I can't see that at all. It's in Cincinnati, which is going to be good, but I'm going to give it to the Vikings there. Then we get against the Bears, and once again, Andy Dalton, revenge game against the Bengals. It's in Chicago. I got to go with the Bears there. I'm sorry. Then they face the Steelers. I don't think they're splitting against the Steelers. That's 3 straight losses. But then they face the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's definitely a winnable game. That is a nice winnable game. Trevor Lawrence, rookie. Urban Meyer, rookie head coach. I can give the win to the Bengals over the Jaguars. I've got no problem with that. Then they face the Packers. Don't even show up to that game. Don't show up. There's no reason to show up in that game. That's a loss. Then they face the Lions. Another good win. You can beat the Lions. I'll give them a win against the Lions all day. Then they face the Ravens. Ooh, I can't. They won't split against the Ravens. The Jets, a solid winnable game. I don't think they win the game, but I'll give the Bengals the benefit of the doubt here. It's a winnable game. I just don't think they go out and win it. It's in New York as well on the road for the Bengals, but I will respect the Bengals a little bit and give them a win against the Jets. Then they go against the Browns. I don't think they can sweep the Browns or split against the Browns, folks. I don't. I think this division is so good besides the Bengals. And once again, I'm not trying to disrespect the Bengals. I'm sorry, Bengals fans. I truly am. I just don't see it. They're so much better players, coaches, schemes, offense, defense in this league than the Bengals. And if Joe Burrow didn't get injured, I may be a little bit bigger on this Bengals team. If Jamar Chase was showing out in preseason, I would maybe buy this Bengals team a little bit more, but I just got nothing from this Bengals this offseason, the preseason, the training camp, no good stories. It's not like just Jamar Chase was floundering in the preseason games. He was also floundering in the training camp practices too, so it's just nothing that we can sink our teeth into. And we tried, folks. We do our due diligence here at Takes by Fans. We're here every day talking everything, whatever stories out there, we're finding it, we're talking about it, we're discussing it, we're breaking it down, we're seeing it. And the Bengals, they just didn't do it for us this season. It's unfortunate, but we'll see. Maybe they prove us wrong. Hey, prove us wrong. I've got no problem with that. I'll say I was wrong about the Bengals. I don't think we're going to be, but we'll see. So we got 3 wins heading into the bye. Then they face the Raiders. Can't see a win there. That offense is too good for the Raiders. I don't think this Bengals defense can keep up. Then they face the Steelers again. They won't split. They face the Chargers. It's Justin Herbert. He'll get it done. Then they face the 49ers. Good luck, Joe Burrow. You'll probably, I'm not even going to say that. I don't want to even put that out there. So no against the 49ers. The Broncos, it's in Denver. The Denver's defense is pretty good. I don't think I can see a win against the Broncos either. The Ravens again, the Chiefs, geez Louise, and then the Browns. So I've got 3 wins here. If we're trying to look for a 4th win, we call it against the Browns. They split against the Browns. If we're looking for a 5th win, it's got to come from the Broncos. That's 5. If we're looking for a 6th win, it's got to come from the Chargers. And then if we're looking for a 7th win, folks, now we have to look for a 7th win to get over that 6.5 hook if we're looking for the over. If they want to win 7 games, they probably got to beat the Vikings week 1. So I can't find that many wins, folks. I got 3 solid, and I didn't even like giving them the Jets one. I got to take the under here. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry, Bengals fan. I don't want to trash and get down on this team. I'm just not seeing it. Me, Takes by Fans, we're just not seeing it here, folks. It's not saying that they're definitely going to be bad. I'm just not seeing it. And usually we kind of see everything right. Usually. 99% of the time. 100%. 99% of 100% of the time. Okay? So, I'm just not seeing it here for the Bengals. I'm taking the under 6.5 wins. All right, next team up here is the Buffalo Bills. And sheesh, this is tied for the highest win spread here with the Ravens at 11 wins. So, the Bills, hey, they're not expecting any step back here from Josh Allen, and we're not expecting it either. So, Bills over 11 wins is at minus 130, and under 11 wins is at plus 110. So, Vegas is saying this team is going to be absolutely great here, with the favorite being the over 11 wins. So, let's see what this Bills schedule is looking like, and let's find those 11 wins. Alrighty. Vegas is saying there's a lot of wins to get here, and we're just putting the line at 11. So let's see if we can go find those wins. Here we go. Week 1. This is a tough week 1. I'm not going to lie. It's in Buffalo, so I'll give them a little bit of the edge there. But Bills, Steelers, week 1. Real tough opponent here. Really kind of for both teams. Both these teams should kind of be real solid. Kind of, playoff teams in the AFC, no doubt. Potential both division winners as well. So I'm going to give the Bills the win here. It's going to be close. It's going to be real gosh dang close. I think I like the Steelers with the points. We don't know what that spread is, but I'm assuming it's probably only plus 3. I would probably maybe put it at Bills minus 3.5. You give the Bills minus 3 because of the home field advantage, and maybe slight because of Josh Allen. Maybe I bump it up another half a point because of Josh Allen. So we haven't guessed and reacted to the week 1 lines just quite yet. We're either going to do that on Wednesday or Thursday show. So keep tuned to our channel. Keep tuned to our Twitter. Takes by Fans everywhere, folks. Come on. Well, y'all don't know it yet? Come on. We're here every day. But I will give the Buffalo Bills the week 1 win against the Steelers because it is in Buffalo. All right, then I'm going to have them split the season series against the Dolphins because I do think the Dolphins defense is going to come to play, and they got embarrassed in week 17 last season, so we've been chomping at the bit. I've been chomping at the bit just to watch the Dolphins go against the Bills again because that was just a playoff chance on the line, and we absolutely shit the bed big time. I mean, we just explosive diarrhea. explosive diarrhea in the bed. I mean, what the hell was that? I got all juiced up for that game, and from start to finish, it was absolute garbage. So I'm going to have the Dolphins and Bills splitting. So the first game in Miami, week 2, is in Miami. So I'm going to give the Bills a loss there because I'll have both teams winning their home field game. So they lose against the Dolphins. And then they face Washington. It's in Buffalo. Ryan Fitzpatrick revenge game. That's got nothing to me. That's not a narrative I'm going to be rolling with. So I'm going to go the Buffalo Bills there. I just don't like the Washington's football team's offense overall. Their defense should be able to keep up, but it's Josh Allen. He'll get it done. Then they face the Texans, a real easy game there. Another game in Buffalo. Geez, 3 out of the first 4 games are all at home. Getting out to a good start. Favoritism a little bit. Come on, Roger Goodell. What is the schedule? Then they face the Chiefs, and this is going to be a real tough game. I just don't think the Bills are ready to beat the Chiefs. Now, I do think the Bills will be very competitive in this game. They were competitive last season in the playoffs against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Unfortunately, came up a little bit short. I think the Bills kind of clam up a little bit in the playoffs. That's something that we have been monitoring the last couple of years, and we are definitely going to be monitoring it this season. I think the play callers and Sean McDermott get a little conservative and don't let Josh Allen let that thing loose in the playoffs, which I think is a bad thing to do because Josh Allen has proven time and time again he can get it done. Well, maybe not time and time again because he just came up last year, but time again he did it. So I'm going to give them a loss against the Chiefs. It is still a winnable game, but I'm going to give it to the Chiefs. It is on the road. The Bills are definitely wishing they were at home for that one. Then they face the Titans, and this one is on Monday Night Football in Tennessee. Real tough game here. This is going to be a great game. This is going to be a great Monday Night Football game. Man, this one's tough. This one's truly tough. I think I'm going to give it to Tennessee just because they're at home. Going to be real tough. If we're looking, once we're at the end, we're kind of looking for a potential another game to get them over that 11 mark or whatever it is, we might be able to come back to this Tennessee game, but it's going to be a real good game. This is a nice 2-week stretch for this Bills team. Chiefs, Texans. Then they go on the bye, and then they face the Dolphins in Buffalo, so we'll give them a win there. Then they go and face the Jaguars. That's a win. Then they go and face the Jets. That's a win. I'm going to have them sweep the Jets. Then they face the Colts. It's in Buffalo, so I will give them the advantage there. They also just played the Colts last season in the playoffs. A little bit of a different circumstances. Now that Phillip Rivers is out and Carson Wentz is in, so the quarterback's a little bit different, and I think it's an upgrade at the quarterback position. So it's going to be a good game. It's in Buffalo, and I'm going to give the Bills a win there. Then they go and face the Saints on Thursday Night Football in New Orleans. I'm going to give the Bills another win there. I'm not totally sold on this Saints team. I think Jameis Winston does make this team very, very manageable, but how is the defense looking compared to this Buffalo Bills offense? And the Buffalo Bills still have a real good defense, so Jameis Winston is going to have to be prepared to play and try not to turn over the ball here. It's a Thursday night game, so it could also be a little bit wonky, but I'm going to give it to the Bills. I believe that is 8 wins. I don't think I double counted, but we'll see. Then they go and face the Patriots. I'm going to have them beating the Patriots and sweeping the Patriots. Then they go and face the Bucks. I'm going to have the Bucks win that game. I think this Bucks team is just absolutely fantastic. It's still a winnable game. I mean, the Bills can beat any team in the NFL. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they're not kind of over that 60% threshold. That's what we're kind of using here. Can we see the Bills kind of winning this game more than 60%? And I think it's going to be closer to 50-50, 55-45, somewhere around there. So I'm not going to give them a win against the Bucks. Then they go and face the Panthers. That's an easy win. Then they go and face the Patriots. That's another easy win. Then they go and face the Falcons at home. That's an easy win for the Falcons, or for the Bills, I'm sorry. And then we'll give them a win against the Jets, the last game of the season. So, yeah, we no problem found 13 wins here for this Bills team. The only teams that they'll have definite issues with are the Chiefs, the Titans, the Bucks. Those are definite 3 definite potential real struggle games for them. And then potentially the Colts and the Saints could struggle against those teams as well. But then at that point, that's only 5. So that's still 12 wins, which is still over the 11 that the bar is set at. So yeah, I would definitely feel comfortable betting the over 11 wins here for the Buffalo Bills. I think that's solid there. Easy games all season. The only way it gets a little bit not great is if they lose all those games against the best teams that they face, the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Titans. the Colts, and then they struggle with the Dolphins both times, or they struggle with the Patriots both times. I don't see both of those options being the case, but that is still a potential. I just don't think that's truly going to happen. So we're going to give the Bills over 11 wins, and we can't wait to see Josh Allen this season, folks. Alrighty, and then this is going to be the last one we are going to do for today, but let's talk about the Houston Texans, and this is the lowest win total that we have seen thus far Vegas set. So the Texans win totals is set at 4 wins. Can you win 4 out of your 17 games, please? Jeez. Now, the Texans did only win 4 games last season, and that was with Deshaun Watson in a better receiving core than what they have right now. We did talk about Tyrod Taylor today on the show. We are believers in Tyrod Taylor. The offense is still serviceable. The defense is meh at best. You got a first time or a new head coach here. So another potential question mark. They also are having the Deshaun Watson kind of drama on them, but the Texans are kind of saying, hey, we're not even having this drama. He's not playing for us. We're trying to trade him. He doesn't want to be here. We're not forcing him to play. He is not playing. He's on a roster, but he's not playing. So them kind of putting Deshaun Watson in the trunk is kind of a good thing and could help them kind of rebuild this organization and franchise kind of quickly a little bit. Because if Deshaun Watson was playing, then we'd be having the trade narrative every single week on the focal front point of this Texans team, and then we'd be having, all those allegations at the focal front point of this team. But now they're like, okay, Deshaun Watson, he's on the team, but he's all the way over there. We got Tyrod Taylor. So nobody's going to be they'll be talking about Deshaun Watson just because, but I think the more focal point is going to be on the Texans team as a whole. So that could play well for this Texans team. But let's go into their schedule and see if we can find 4 wins? Come on, that can't be that hard. No, it's 4 gosh dang wins. Come on, how hard could that be? You face the Jets, you face the Lions, you face the Jaguars. That's 3 right off the rip. Maybe we can find a 4th bad team on this league. So here we go. Week 1. Oh, there we go. Bingo, bango. Week 1 against the Jaguars at home. Boom. That's a winnable game. We're going to count that. Then they go and face the Browns. Browns, we are going to classify as a real good team. We're going to call that as a loss. Then they face the Panthers on Thursday Night Football in Houston. This is a winnable game. Early Carolina with Sam Darnold. Oh, and we did the win totals for the Carolina team. And so apparently the Carolina Panthers have some sort of great defense that we have just never heard about. So that's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Carolina Panthers fans were all over my comments saying, oh my God, did you forget about the defense? You forgot about the defense. You forgot about the defense. Our defense is going to be so good. Okay. Well, you also have to put up points as well in this league, and I don't know if Sammy D's got it, but we'll see. We'll see if the Panthers' defense is as good as y'all were saying. It was like number 18th in the league last season. We'll see if it improved. They got a rookie corner who should be good, but is still a rookie at the end of the day. But we digress. So Carolina, this is a winnable game for this Texans team, no doubt. Thursday Night Football, wonky game. They're at home, so they don't get hit with all the wonkiness. So that's a winnable game for this Texans team. I don't know if I can put it at that 60%. That's kind of what we're doing. Do we see the Texans winning against their opponents kind of 60%-ish? That's kind of what we're using to give them the wins here. So we're going to give them a win against the Panthers. I'm going to say they could start the season 2-1. I'm going to say that. They beat the Panthers. Then they go and face the Bills. Not going to win that game. Then they go and face the Patriots in another winnable game because they are at home. I could see them beating this Patriots team. If Mac Jones can't get it done, it's on the road real early in the season. The Patriots defense would really have to carry them for them to win kind of early on in the season. So another winnable game. I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to give them 3 here, folks. Here we go. We're only looking for 4. Then they go and face the Colts. Can't give them a win there. Then they face the Cardinals. Can't give them a win there. Good offense and defense. Again, then they face the Rams. Great defense, great offense. Not going to beat them. Then they face the Dolphins. Not going to beat them. Great offense, great defense. Then they're on the bye. Regroup. Then they face the Texans. Derrick Henry's going to run all over this team. But then they face the Jets in Houston. Oh, my God. They are getting, against all the bad teams they're at home for. So hopefully they can take advantage of that. I'm going to give them a win against the Jets. Then they face the Colts again. Not even going to split there. Then they face the Seahawks. Not going to beat them. But then they face the Jags. There's that 5th win. If we're looking for over, they will have to sweep the Jags. It's going to be tough. It's a potential. Y'all can do it. That's 5. And then the Chargers, the 49ers, and the Titans, the last 3 games of the season, they lose all those games. So we are at 5 wins for this Texans team, with the line being at 4. Now, we are still, oh man, this is so tough because it's only 4, How can we bet the under 4, right? The reason why I still want to bet the under 4 is because there was really only 5 winnable games here, and we counted them all wins for the Texans. Are they going to be able to take advantage of every single bad team they face? That's a tall order to ask for this Texans team. If they lose one of those games, then we're at 4, and we're at, the push, so we don't win anything. That's if they lose just 1. If they lose 2, then we're at the under, because there's no way their schedule outside of the easy opponents are tough as heck. I mean, Browns, Bills, Colts, Cardinals, Rams, Dolphins, Titans, Colts, Seahawks, Chargers, 49ers, Titans. I mean, geez. There's no middle of the road. Is there a middle of the pack team that we just said right there? I think the Browns are way better than middle of the pack. Chargers maybe middle of the pack. So that would be a maybe if they lose one of those kind of, give me games, easy games. They would have to make that up against the Chargers. So this is real tough. There's no half a game hook, which I kind of wish there was. Oh, man, this is tough. I want to believe in Tyrod Taylor. I just can't believe in this team overall as a whole, so I have to go under the 4. It could be 4, which at that point would be a push. That's why I kind of wanted to be 4.5. So when we bet the under 4.5, we can win with the only 4 wins right there. But I'm kind of only seeing 4 wins here. I can't bet the over, so we're going to go under 4 wins here for the Texans. Alrighty, that is our time today for the show, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We are back live tomorrow doing it all over again. Hopefully we can get to a little bit more teams in our win totals. Got to speed this up. I wasn't expecting to go this late on the stories, but there were some good things to talk about. I can't fault myself for good things to talk about. Some good things to investigate. We didn't talk about Tyrod Taylor all off season, so why not talk about him now that he is officially the starter? All right. That's going to do it for us today. Any breaking news? Doesn't seem like it, so we will keep scrolling for another second. No more COVID cases, thank goodness. Let me knock on wood. What else do we get here? Anything good? Nothing is breaking. TJ Watt is practicing for the Steelers, which is always good that he's going to be ready to go week 1. Got to have him available. Dan Campbell reported the team came out in good shape with COVID tests. All right, good. Nobody from the Lions partying at their alma mater over the weekend because nobody's good on that team, so nobody wants them back at their college. All right. We're out of here, folks. We will see you tomorrow, and we better see you tomorrow. You better be here tomorrow. If you're not here tomorrow, we're coming after you, or we'll be looking for you. All right, folks, we're out of here. We'll see you.